This movie, like Billy's powers, is absolute magic. Hey movie fans, Shazam is the latest installment in the DCEU, or the Worlds of DC, or whatever they feel like calling themselves this week. This film had a lot of positive momentum going into it, so my hopes were exceedingly high. I had very high expectations. Does it live up to it? Absolutely. This movie is an absolute blast. While not perfect, it sets out and accomplishes exactly what it wants to do, which is entertain and provide a lighthearted and different approach to the superhero genre. While not reinventing the wheel, it does do some new and fun and different things that I was very much enjoying throughout my time. I had a huge grin on my face throughout Shazam, so let's break down the goods, the occasional negatives, and everything in between while remaining spoiler-free for you guys. First off, we gotta talk about the boy in red himself, Zachary Levi as Shazam. I was on Shazam's camp. I was on Zachary Levi's side, more or less from the get-go, and I was not wrong at all. Zachary Levi was born to play Shazam. He is wonderful. He's a child at heart. He plays Billy Batson to perfection. However, this movie is only as good as its supporting characters, and the supporting cast in Shazam is absolutely incredible. The family that Billy is with, both the siblings as well as the supervisors, I guess, the parental units in the foster family are amazing. I love the family dynamic. I love the supporting characters. You really cared about them. They felt like genuine people. They didn't feel like people in movies. They felt like humans. You wanted to see them interact with more, and you liked them, which made it so much easier to invest in them as characters, and made it easier for them to play off each other, because oh my goodness, the comedy in this absolutely works. Bar none, this is the funniest DC movie, probably one of the funniest comic book movies I've seen in a long time. I was laughing out loud. They had quite a few self-referential jokes to other DC properties, but it really worked. Laughed a lot, had a lot of heart between the characters, like genuine, I care about these characters, I care about their interaction, and genuine growth between them. They fought like family, they reacted to things like a family. This is one of the first comic book movies that I've seen in a long time that doesn't just pretend to be a family movie. This is a family comic book movie through and through. The family dynamic is amazing. However, not everything's super positive. There's a couple supporting characters that I feel like could have gotten more time in the sun due to some things that happened later in the movie, but again, won't go into spoilers here. There were certain characters I felt like could have gotten maybe like 2 or 3 more lines, because they really didn't do much until much later, in which case I would have liked to have more of a foundation. That being said, I liked every single character in this. Villain was great. Dr. Savannah, played by Mark Strong, was a great villain. By no means the best villain I've ever seen in a comic book movie. He's kind of stereotypical of I'm evil, but his plan isn't really the most thought out. Like, I didn't really get what his motivation, like what his endgame was for this movie, but he did a good job with what he was given. It was just a lot of fun, a lot of humor, a lot of heart, a lot of great action, a lot of self-referential things. I watched Big before watching this movie, and I'm glad I did. There's one thing in particular that it would help if you see Big before you watch this movie. Like Aquaman before, this movie very much stands on its own. It doesn't rely on, you need to see this, you need to see this. You could not know that this is connected to the DC universe at all and still be just fine. And I think DC is sticking with that for a while of, okay, we're gonna make solid standalone movies before we worry about anything else. And so far, it's working out just fine. I want more movies like this in the DC universe, please. I loved every minute of Shazam. I laughed. I had a fantastic time with it. I cared about the characters. I want more of what I saw, and as soon as this movie comes out again, I'll absolutely be seeing this again and again. I had a big old smile on my face. I loved every minute of it. I laughed. I had such a good time with it. And I will give Shazam an 8.5 out of 10. It's one of the best, if not the best DC movie I've seen thus far. And slowly but surely, DC's getting themselves out of this hole that they've been in. Well, what do you guys think about Shazam? Are you excited for it? Have you seen it yet? Let me know your expectations or your thoughts on Shazam below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.